that's much better. Let me. All right. Hey guys, and welcome to tonight's stream. So we're going to be doing a couple of things.
It's okay, don't worry. It's fine.
Okay. Sorry, my wife just busted into the office. Nothing to worry about really, though. But we're going to be doing a couple of things tonight. Primarily head sculpting, though. I've got a couple of character concepts that I've been kind of toying around with in my head. And so I think we're going to just do some head sculpts, like head and shoulder sculpts of those characters, and we'll kind of see how they go. I've got maybe 2 or 3 that we're going to do tonight in the stream. So with that said, I guess let's get started. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hey, Jazz, how you doing? Yeah, let's turn on screencast keys. Hey, Fable, welcome to the stream. How you doing? What have you guys been up to? It's been a couple of weeks since I've streamed lately. Oh, that's from the right. Let's take a look. Here we go. So we'll just merge all of these at the center line there, and we'll add in some modifiers. I'll just bring this down and probably closer to my face. All right, so I just want to mirror just to keep everything clipped to the center line there. I don't really care about mirroring anything because all we're doing is the base here. So with everything selected, Control A, we will scale this out. This will serve as the base of our bust, and then extrude up, and that's probably going to be the base of the neck there, but let's go back and mark this as the root. And let's see what's going on with X-ray, so that way we can see all of the things here. And we'll take it one more up. Looking at it from the right, I'll kind of move this one forward, I guess. And let's pop these back. Control A and kind of build our head. Yeah, I think that's a good start for the base here. And then we'll Control A out this bottom. Come in here with a subdivide. Maybe shrink that down. There we go. Maybe not quite that wide. Something like that. All's well, you're managing a deployment at the moment. Fable, what kind of deployment are you working with? And Jazz, you're helping, you helped move some of your great-granddad's stuff out of his old apartment? Okay. Did you find anything interesting? Did he have anything interesting? All right, and I think that's, you know what, that's probably fine. Let's just go ahead and scale these in a little bit. This is a completely different way to sculpt. Definitely different than how you sculpt Pandy. So what I'm doing is I'm making a base mesh using these modifiers and everything. And once I'm happy with it, all I'm going to do is just duplicate and move over. And now I have a backup right here. So let's go ahead and make a new collection here for backups. It's going to be the same principle, where like we're creating the base mesh and then you go in and sculpt. The only difference is rather than starting with, you know, a cube or the quad sphere, you can you get to shape everything with the skin modifier. All right, and so now I can hide that. Actually, I can hide the whole backups collection. That's not really necessary. And you know what? I think we're going to get started with the Moose Man that I have. It's like a cross between a man and a moose. This is kind of what I'm going for here. So let's just apply all these modifiers. Turn off X-ray. And with that selected, jump over to the sculpting workflow, at which point now I can just focus on sculpting. So I want the inflate brush here, and you know what, that's probably fine. Let's turn on dynamic topology, and we'll decrease the thing and just unify the strength. So something like that should be okay. And then we'll just go over all of these sections to add in topology. You're pushing a microservice with GitLab. Very nice. Is that for, I take it that's for your company, that's not a side project? Let's grab that snake hook brush. We'll go a little bit bigger. And I just want to pull out a chin here. Kind of push the head in a little bit. Okay, so that's your real job you're just currently working on. Very nice. Do you not have that set up, Fable, do you not have that set up to automatically go through? Like a complete CI/CD pipeline? The smooth brush can be Dice the Kid. Welcome to the stream. The smooth brush can be accessed from any brush using the shift key along that brush. And so for a moose, let's go ahead and actually increase. Oh, this tab. I just got a new tablet. Prime Day. You know, I spent a lot more money than I had hoped to on Prime Day. Bought myself a new tablet, and I'm still getting used to the 20 buttons that I have access to. So we're going to just elongate this face, I guess, because he is a moose. And I think the face should be longer than normal. They're kind of like, they have heads that are basically the same as a minotaur, essentially. Fable, why don't you guys have CI/CD set up? Just like set it up to your code reviews, and then let that code review trigger the new build and the new push. Alexander, welcome to the stream. You're new to sculpting and the channel. Can you please tell me why I added topology? Absolutely. So with sculpting, you can only sculpt detail based off of what vertices you have in an area. So with dynamic topology, you can basically create topology all you need to and sculpt all of the detail that you need to basically immediately because it creates it for you. And without that extra detail, you wouldn't be able to put in things like eyes and ears and all of the extra sculpting like muscles that you would otherwise be able to see. So you got to add topology for sure. All right, cool. I think that's kind of the basic shape. I'm just going to put in, let's go to the clay strips here and turn off the stupid radius thing based on the strength, because that's dumb. I'm just going to put in a little marker here for the ears. I know we'll come back to it. Oh no, what is this? Set to relative. Let's set that to brush. Sculpting with a relative detail is dumb, in my opinion. So, yeah, no problem, Alexander. So you just moved out of Bitbucket to GitLab, and so you've moved to a trunk-based deployment model. Ah, okay. That does sound more complex than it should be. Yeah, I'm trying to get my company's in Bitbucket, and we have the ability to do things, but I work in mainly robotics. So working in mainly robotics, and then just kind of put the eyebrow here, I guess, I think. That looks about accurate to where the moose head would be. So then we can kind of build up this area real quick. Just kind of punch that in there. That's going to give us a nice little brow bone. And then we can just smooth that all down. That's fine. Eyebrows. Cool. But yeah, working in mostly like business robotics and stuff, most of the stuff we work on is desktop automations. So it is really hard to hook up CI/CD pipelines for desktop automations. Okay. This will look okay when it's done, probably. We'll see. Plus, I work with a bunch of old dudes who like don't understand Git in general, because they've been developers in the financial industry since the good old days of VB6 and SourceSafe. All right, so let's go ahead and create real quick the antlers. Just add in another plane here. Move this up. Kind of move it over to where I want it. Something like that. Cool. Merge that at the center, and let's add in some modifiers. We'll add the mirror, the skin, and the subdivision surface. And we want it to mirror the object. We don't want it to mirror across its own axis. So there we go. All right, and then we just kind of want to do some antler type stuff. So we'll kind of take it out this direction, make that center mark as the root again, move it into the skull. I think something like that is probably good. Maybe back a little bit. Yeah, this is an evening for sculpting. I don't mind talking about CI/CD though. I'm trying to make it work, but I don't know. I'm in this weird place where like I'm trying to convert all of our old stuff. And we've got a ton of Windows services, and like we're still using .NET framework. And so I'm like trying to ease my team into .NET Core, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. All right, so we're just gonna kind of make the shape here. I think go back into here and take this way. Something like that should be fine. Let's grab this. Let's mark this as loose. It's basically what I wanted, but now we'll subdivide and move this along. So there we go. I'm gonna pull this over here and grab these two. Control A. And we'll just subdivide both of those. I think that'll... Jazz Wolf, what exercise do I recommend to a beginner to start off with? I remember you doing Pokemon last time. Yeah, so Jazz, there's a couple of things. The thing you want to focus on most is like what you actually want to sculpt. So like my wife just started sculpting this week, and she actually did a really, really solid job for her very first head sculpt. Like I hated how good she did it on her first try. Good. But she did a pretty good job at her first head sculpt, and so she would like love sculpting characters. That's kind of what she wants to get into. So having her practice on a head sculpt and just like figure that out was fun for her, and it was a good way for her to get started. And that's kind of what I would recommend for her going forward. But if you want to get into characters and creature sculpting, and you just want to improve your sculpting in general, then you want to pick stuff that's going to be kind of easy to do with basic shapes. And so the things that are easy to do with basic shapes are Pokemon. And so I'm probably going to make my wife do some Pokemon sculpts upcoming in the future, just so that she can, you know, get some real experience sculpting different stuff. Because I think that's really what's probably the most helpful to get started off with, is just Pokemon sculpts. But I mean, everybody's different, right? You can pretty much sculpt whatever you want. But I think Pokemon are a great way if you want to get into like soft body sculpting, and then try sculpting like rocks if you wanted to get into hard surface sculpting. Rocks are so much harder to sculpt than you'd think. Just want to flatten these out just a little bit. There we go. Do the same thing with these. Perfect. Yeah, I also recommend learning how to model first, right? And for that, I've got some Skillshare courses. You can check out the link in the description. That'll help you with modeling. And I just recorded and completed another Skillshare course with some modeling, texturing, and animation. That'll be coming out hopefully by the end of the week. My wife is doing the editing this week, so we'll see once it all gets done. But yeah, definitely start out with modeling, just because I think it gets you into seeing how to like work in Blender better first, right? And then once you have an idea of like how Blender works, then you can get into sculpting. But you don't have to get into modeling first. I just think, especially if you're new to 3D, you have to get into like you have to do modeling first, because it's just simple. You make your first basic sword weapon and then you move on. Excuse me. Does it have minotaurs? Fable, what do you mean? What does have minotaurs? My Skillshare course? No. Not yet. Oh, I got something like some phlegm just stuck. But it's okay. All right, we're going to turn that back on. I'm not fully satisfied here. Let's move this along. Yeah, that's fine. Well, if you're going to get Skillshare soon, sign up with my link. It really helps out the channel. And you get like 14 days free. I think they just changed it. So like a lot of the Skillshare before, they were doing 2 months free, but they just changed their premium. You get 14 days free. Let's turn off focals. The song's way too quiet. Let's go here, I guess. Cool Duxie, welcome to the stream. You got your first ever tablet, no more sculpting with a mouse. Congratulations, Cool Duxie. Cool Dud. I always call you Cool Duxie, but like, you're Cool Dud XYXY. You'll always be Cool Duxie to me. What do I recommend aside from Pokemon though? Literally anything. It really depends on what you want to sculpt, right? Like I would wager to say that I suck at sculpting people, but like I'm monster characters and like weird creatures, I'm much better at sculpting those things. Let's see if this needs a bigger. What's going on with the skin modifier here? There's like an incompatible, something incompatible is going on here. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. But yeah, it kind of depends. Like I prefer sculpting monsters and creatures. That's like what I really enjoy doing. So that's why next year when we start creating those animations, there's not going to be humans in it. Like it's just monsters and creatures. and it's going to tell a whole story from their perspective, and it's going to be great. And my wife's writing it, and I'm really excited for that because my wife is a fantastic author. All right. Okay, I think the antlers are good. There's some weird stuff going on with the skin modifier, but I think it should be fine if we hit it with some done topo. So let's go ahead and call this antlers, I guess. And then this would be moose head. All right, and then we can apply, well, we want to leave the mirror modifier, but we'll definitely apply the skin and the subdivision surface. So there we go. So yeah, I mean, sculpt whatever you want to wrap that up, I guess. And I'm going to sculpt monsters. You guys sculpt characters or things out there, you know, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, that's what you should sculpt. MCCM, welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? All right, so Moosin have this weird, I know that's not the real name for it, but Moosin have this weird, like their nose like comes out on an angle. It's almost like they have a small little elephant nose. At least that's what it looks like to me. Nuhan, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Okay, we want to make this flatter for sure. Am I using a reference? I am, but I'm just using a moose head as a reference. It's really... Yeah, you gotta sculpt. You gotta sculpt with references. All right, that is definitely starting to come together. But I don't want my moose man to have a super thin neck, so we're gonna buff this dude's neck up. References, oh, that's clay thumb. That's not what I wanted. References are your friend, but references can also be a pretty big enemy. Because they're going to let you know where you suck. That's better. That is definitely better. We don't need... It's amazing how much like a thick neck can affect your drawing. Like it looks so much better now. All right, let's build him some trap muscles because yeah, they don't lie. References don't lie, at least. That's true. All right, cool. And you know what? I think we're gonna just we're gonna pull out some shoulders, maybe two. I think that'll really help sell the final piece here. This guy does neck day at least 8 days a week. I mean, have you looked at a moose neck? Like straight up, if you Google moose neck, or I guess just moose, just look at the size of their necks. Their necks are massive. So having anything less than a massive neck just wouldn't really fit a moose, in my opinion. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Alright, and I think maybe just pull this in for a slight curve. We'll do okay, because they really have a straight they really have more of a straight neck, but there is a bit of a curve to it, so I think that's probably fine. If he's a forest creature, why wouldn't you make him look a bit more dainty? Because the woods are feared by humans for a reason. And so this moose man, I feel like if a human saw him would be absolutely terrified. Not in his current state, but like... And obviously his personality is going to be different, but... Oh, I won't forget his ears this time. I've marked it. That's what the little thing behind the antlers are. Those are the ear holes. There we go. That's probably a bit too much. Van, welcome to the stream. How you doing? But good call out there, Fable, because we totally forgot the ears on the Minotaur until we were nearly done. All right, let's kind of flatten out. Smooth all that down a little bit, and then there we go. Perfect. He just benches the bench. He's like, don't even put weights on it. Don't even put weights on it. I got it. The whole bench. Though I suppose a more I mean, the answer that I gave for why he's not more dainty, even though he's a forest creature, is correct and accurate. But I will say that, like, dainty creatures are just not something I am capable of at my current skill level. I'm going to bring this back a little bit. Whoa, dog, what's going on under there? Guess I never hit this with the new topology. All right, and moose kind of have this, like, hump at the top of their head. Like, almost like they used to have horns just coming out the straight, and then somebody split it down the middle, and ever since they've kind of evolved to have humps out the side. All right, they do have goofy looking noses, though. I will say that. That's pretty true. Moosin have goofy looking noses. But the eye socket needs to come down a little bit, so let's just grab and pull it. And there we go. All right, and let's add in some eyeballs for him. All right. So Moose kind of had this like weird, hold on, where's my annotation line? Thank you. From what I can tell from a reference, they kind of have that weird shape right there going around their eye. So It looks a little like a moose. I'm not super happy with it yet. But as far as like concept goes, I am pretty good with it. I am not mistaken. Oh. 5 points from Gryffindor, Alex. 5 points from Gryffindor. That was a bad pun. You moosed do better than that. Derping Slime, welcome to the stream. Do I use a mouse and keyboard, or do I use like a tablet? I use a tablet and a keyboard, but I do have my mouse over here, so sometimes it's just faster for me to navigate with the mouse. But I do have a tablet that I sculpt with. And I highly recommend everybody sculpt with a tablet. There's almost no reason for anyone to be sculpting with a mouse these days. Because you can pick up a tablet that works with Blender for like 30 bucks. Derping Slime, why don't you check out my channel? And on my channel, you will see a tablet review. I don't think you can use your phone. I don't think you can use your phone as a tablet with Blender. But if you check out my channel, there's a tablet review. You can get a really nice tablet for under 30 bucks. So check out my channel. Use the link in the description. It helps me out. I get a little bit of a kickback because it's an Amazon affiliate link. But yeah, cool. They want you on the Prime. I mean, I have Prime, so I get basically everything free shipping. But, you know, they want you on Prime. Yeah, so Fable, I just bought, so you mentioned the Huion deals, and I just bought a Huion Pro 22 tablet, Huion Canvas Pro 22. It's amazing. It's got 20 buttons on it. It's fantastic. and it was on sale. I got it for like 150 bucks off on Prime Day. Definitely worth it in my opinion. I'm actually gonna, I recorded a tablet review, like an unboxing and a tablet review kind of thing, because I was like, okay, I got this new merch and I wanna check it out, but I was retarded and turned off my microphone, and so we got all the footage and none of the audio. So we got to figure out how to work with that. All right, that eye looks better to me. It doesn't quite match what a moose has, but that's okay because this is a moose man. So honestly, that's probably fine. And then let's take the brow, and we'll bring the brow out and down. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be dubbing it. I think we're going to just, I think we might film another like picture-in-picture type of thing where I'm just like, yeah, guys, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Here's the explanation. But we might do a voiceover. I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. Because we have all that footage, and I don't want to let it go to waste, you know? Also, let me ask you guys, since you're here, and it's something my wife and I have been talking about and kicking around. So, I'm trying to move the channel away from tutorials, right? I'm still going to be doing them. I know I'm going to be doing them for a while to come. There's a lot of info out there that I want to learn and I want to share. So, like, tutorials I don't think are ever really going to leave. But I'm going to do a lot more teaching on Skillshare for those tutorials because they pay better. So we were trying to think about what kind of content might be fun and interesting. And then we came across Amazon Prime's selection of like knockoff 3D movies. Like instead of Kung Fu Panda, you have Kung Fu Bunny. They had they had Pixie Dragons or whatever. And so what we were talking about is basically like as a writer and me as an amateur CG 3D artist watching these movies and like doing commentary on the movies and the art style and whatever. And I'm just curious, would you guys watch something like that? No, not so much, Fable. I can make a parody of it, maybe. So I guess maybe pull those out a little bit. Control A, apply that scale. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the channel for that reason. We're gonna be making, we're gonna be making content and you know videos and tutorials and stuff for hopefully a long time to come. And eventually, hopefully I can turn this into a full-time job and a full-time company and expand into some of the other interests and stuff that I have that I'd love to do. But I'm glad you enjoy the channel, and I'm glad it inspires you to create new things. I definitely think the the parody, or the, you know, watching those bad movies and those knockoff movies are gonna inspire me to up my art game, because if I'm gonna make fun of their work, I've gotta I've gotta really make sure my work is good. Yeah, YouTube is awesome, and there are definitely a lot of people that I go out and I'll go and watch and learn from, and I'm like, oh, how can I adapt what they do into what I do? And I think that's that's one of the things that I think is really, really cool. But I often feel like a tutorial fraud, or at least I would in the beginning. I don't anymore, because I would like go and I would learn and live stream and practice at work, and you know, when I was teaching students, and then I would, you know, watch a couple of YouTube videos, adapt their tutorial and their work style and flow and everything into my work, and then I would make a tutorial kind of along those topics, and I would use their workflow into it because it was so good. And then I would adapt their style, or not their style, but I would adapt like their way of doing things in a way that would help my viewers. Maybe explain it in a way that I think was a little bit better, or cover some things that they didn't cover in their video. And I used to feel weird about that, but the truth is, like, we're all just out here sharing knowledge, and it doesn't really matter where it comes from, I guess, as long as you're not directly ripping off their video. It's fine. But how do you keep a tablet clean? I mean, it stays clean, but the thing that really keeps the tablet clean is this, because your hands won't be getting oil all over the tablet. They'll just be getting oil inside the glove, and then you can wash the glove. I think I'm not entirely sure on that, but the glove will keep your natural hand oils off the tablet, which would be really great for keeping it clean. You know, and after that, it's really just like knock the dust off of it every once in a while and call it a day. So what have you guys worked on lately in Blender? Like, Alex, you mentioned that basically when you see something 3D, you could probably do it. Have you done anything like that lately? Have you seen something in 3D and you're like, you know what? I could do that. And then... Yeah, Fable's also right. You can definitely pick up a screen protector. But I think the 430p doesn't have a screen. I'm pretty sure that's just a really, really small 4-inch by 3-inch tablet. That's pretty good, but it doesn't have a screen. So you don't really need a screen protector for those. The furniture around your house, donuts, so many donuts. Gosh dang it, Alex, do you watch Blender Guru? And his gosh darn donuts? Hate that tutorial series. It's not bad, but it's so bad for beginners. So, Fable, last week you made a Wolfman, a fuzzy eyeball monster, which you posted in the Discord and was absolutely creepy and terrifying, and I didn't like it. Like, it was well executed, but when I looked at it, I was like, huh, it's a hairy Mike Wazowski. And I was like, no, with real human feet, and that just made it worse. And it was very creepy. So, well done. All right, and you know what? We're gonna go ahead and shade that one smooth. Eminal Islam, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Make a video about retopology next. I made 3 videos about retopology. I made the face, the shirt, and hands. Made 3 videos about retopology. You can check it out in my character creation course. You can never get the frosting right, so you end up restarting. You know, I've never done the donut tutorial. But that's probably because I learned from CG Cookie, not Blender Guru. And CG Cookie is phenomenal. Highly recommend them. Like, overall, highly recommend them. Okay. So we need to make ears, otherwise it's not going to look good. And for ears, I think what we're going to do is just add in a cylinder. Kind of thin that out a little bit, scale it down, add a mirror modifier. All right. Let's go into sculpt mode here, turn on dynamic topology, and turn off mirroring. And we can go ahead and turn off smooth shading because it's not important right now. And let's get the shape of the ear right. Guess we can go and hide the antlers. Aminal, check out my character creation course. It'll walk you through how to create a character. There's only 2 videos left that I have to produce for that course, but it'll take you through sculpting and retopology and modeling and all of that. And you'll be able to create your first character. Which I guess I'll be recording the next video for that series this weekend. You bought the course on Udemy, but everyone recommended you the donut, so you felt obligated to. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, no, the donut is, in my opinion, the donut's probably one of the worst tutorials out there for complete beginners. I'll say this, it is really great. I know I've said this a lot on live streams because like I don't like that tutorial, but my real problem with that tutorial is like people make the donut, right? And they make really cool donuts, and that's fine. But then at the end of it, all they know how to do is make a donut. They don't know how to do anything else with modeling because the donut is literally a torus, and they learn a little bit of proportional editing, and like they're good to go. So they don't learn anything really, except how to make a donut. And so the donut tutorial is great to get people into Blender and like get them their first render and learn you know, a very, very shallow understanding of basically everything, all of the pieces in 3D art. And that part is great. And like Blender Guru has that down to a complete science. It's absolutely phenomenal. But if you want to learn how to model, that is not the right, that's not the tutorial you should be hopping on. So I guess it's like a good place to get people started, which is maybe his point, is like, let's get him in here and get him started with all of this. But in my opinion, there's like, I don't know. There's got to be a better way to do it. But then again, you know what? There's a reason the dude's at 1 million subscribers and I am just under 7,000. That, and he's been doing it a lot longer than I have. Yeah, Grant Abbott is fantastic for that as well. Like, you know, I actually think he just did this recently, but I think it's actually a really good tool to get started. It's actually what I did when I was teaching in the classroom. His house tutorial series that he just finished up. That's what I made my students work on as their project the first time. Like when they were first getting into it, we covered all of the tools in the classroom. We would cover all the tools, and then we would get into, you know, a final project to show that they had learned everything. And then what they did was the house. And so him doing that house tutorial series, I think, is phenomenal. And that's a good way to get people into modeling. I haven't watched it, but if he covers all the tools and he shows everything, like how to get it done, then it's probably a really good tutorial series. And having watched his other stuff, I would be willing to bet money that it's a really good tutorial series. I'm in. Welcome to the stream. Check out my character creation course on the channel. You'll find a super easy character creator. I guess it's not super easy, but it is a great way to create characters. So, Odyssey, welcome to the stream, man. How you been? It has been a while since the last stream. It has. Last week, I like sat down and tried to plan out the future direction of the channel, and like what I wanted it to become and stuff like that. So I didn't stream last week. But I've nailed that down, and I think I've kind of figured out what I want. So we're going to head forward and do cool things. That's the plan. Deflating this ear here just to kind of pull out some of the thickness of the ear, so it's gonna be a little bit thinner. Your room's been renovating. You have a lot of stuff. You have a lot of work moving your stuff to the other room. Really? Why are you re-renovating? Or why are you renovating? What sprung that on? It's a little early for spring cleaning. All right. There we go. Now that's fixed. How am I making these smooth? Well, I'm using dynamic topology to create a bunch of geometry on the fly, and then I am using a pen tablet, which doesn't help me make it smooth, but I guess it makes sculpting much, much easier. All right, let's go back into sculpt mode on this guy, turn on dynamic topology, and then let's do, I don't want to remesh. I just want to symmetrize. Oh, yeah. There we go. Let's do positive X to negative X. And there we go. Because your mom wants a balcony on the second floor, so that's why you've been renovating. Wow. That's like a big deal. How you putting in a balcony? All right, so that's legitimately how moose heads kind of look. I mean, the ears are a little weird. The ears are a little weird, but that's pretty much how that's how they work. And they kind of look stupid. I wouldn't say that to a moose's face, because you know it's a moose, but kind of looks dumb. With its ears behind its antlers. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. That's just how mooses are. And then I'm in the dynamic topology. I have a video on my channel in the sculpting playlist, but dynamic topology is right up here at the right. Just turn it on, and I prefer to be in brush detail for my detailing methods, just because it allows me to create geometry based on the size of my brush, which means getting into like creating creases and crevices and stuff on my model makes it really nice for me to like zoom in and generate mesh at that size. Otherwise, I'd end up with these large faces like up here. So, Jew, welcome to the stream. Nostrils, yes, I will be doing nostrils. This thing is not finished. I've got to fix up this head and some stuff, but alright, let's kind of pop that down and sure, I'm in, no problem. No problem. All right, so let's actually go ahead and Boolean on the ears. But before we do that, I guess let's duplicate and move. Oh, they must have moved that out of there. All right, fine, whatever. Move one to the backups. All right, and so it looks kind of like they have these nostrils that just kind of cut in like this. Which is a weird kind of way to have a nostril, but they just have these slit nostrils. And then I'll have to touch that up, obviously, but... What are common pitfalls one should avoid when creating anthropomorphic characters? You know, the only thing I think that I would mark as a pitfall is proportions, probably. Right? But if you're making a furry, you kind of get to play with the characters that like the proportion sizes that you want. So it doesn't really matter. But you want to make sure everything kind of looks proportional for what you're looking for, right? And as long as that's done, then you're fine. But I think maybe getting the head size right, probably getting the head size right with the body. That's going to be the biggest pitfall, is just not being able to do that well. Eli, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. Been growing this beard for quite a while. Majin Bej, welcome to the stream. Just starting out in Blender, is there any small tips you could give? There are. But, I mean, what are you starting out in Blender for? What's the point of you learning Blender? I can help, maybe, direct my tips in that direction based off what you're trying to learn for. Alright, this sounds like some weird Western... But I guess, like, if you're just starting out in Blender and you're just like, okay, how do I, you know, if you're, I don't know, if you're just trying to learn how to make 3D models and stuff, the only thing I could tell you is break things down into their simplest shapes and just make a bunch of stuff. So you're trying to get into low poly, but like, when you, Majin, when you say you're trying to get into low poly, do you mean like you're trying to get into low poly to render still images? Are you getting into low poly for game design? Are you getting into low poly, you know, for like animations? Like, what are you trying to do in Blender? Because if you want some modeling tips, the thing that I'm going to tell you is make sure you learn every tool. Because a lot of the tools have different uses over here on your toolbar. Just make sure you learn them and what they do, and like play around with the operator panel on them and get real used to the tools that you can work with, because there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do even if you're working in low poly with those tools, and a lot of different ways of doing stuff. And then the other thing is really just like, don't be afraid to create crappy pieces. You know, like that seems like that would be obvious, but there's a lot of things that, you know, you're just like, okay, well, this art sucks, especially in the beginning. And so you just have to be okay making crappy pieces, being okay with it, like finishing the crappy piece too. Like, I'm not talking about just modeling it and then letting it be. You need to model it, realize that it sucks, texture it, understand that it's bad, and then, you know, continue on and then come back to it. So that way you're not leaving things unfinished. And that'll get better over time. Okay, I think... I actually think I messed up with this antler piece. Like, it, to me, looking at my reference again, it's almost like the antlers come out significantly longer than I originally made it. So let's make that happen. And we'll just give the antler a wider base. But yeah, good luck with that, man. Good luck with your game. All right, so he's kind of got this like fat lower lip. This guy's gonna be the rock spirit animal. Maybe. All right. All right. As a concept, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything. So maybe these eyes. I can almost never get the front of these eyes right. All right, so if I'm good with this, I think I am. Let's move. These are the eyes, right? Let's move this off over to the side. And let's go into the backups and grab the base here. All right, so we're gonna have a rabbit person as well. So I guess let's go ahead and duplicate this again. And we can start our stuff over. Now the rabbit can't be as thick as the other guy, for sure. It just can't be. He's also going to be much smaller, but, or, yeah. All right, into sculpt mode. Grab the snake hook brush. Fable Vertex Paint has been around for like, I don't know. It's been around for a long time, since at least 2.79. But I think you'd get a lot better texture not doing Vertex Paint. feel like that's probably right. I'm not a huge fan of this muzzle. Yet. At least. Well, thanks, Masoneer. I appreciate that. Alright, and you know what? While I'm at it, let's go ahead and put the ears in here. Oh, I forgot I had these other things. Alright, that's getting closer. Still not great. But not bad for the really small amount of work that I've put into it so far, I think. That's definitely better already. Okay, so we fixed the nose bridge. That kind of helped. Although maybe we'll bring it up just a tad. The Infinite Mag, welcome to the stream. How you doing? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. All right, your lips are too fat. That's better. So much better. What do you mean sculpt vertex color system? I'm not aware of that. You suck at animating, but you hope to learn one day? Dude, that's not... You're probably fine. You're probably okay. But everybody sucks at something when they start. So, don't be discouraged. Key Dory, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. You know, I feel I feel like this song is like this music is like some of those concentration study music. And it almost makes me want to whisper. I won't do that to you guys because I don't think you guys want to hear some ASMR, but
No.
the song definitely makes me think I should be talking in a whisper. You only like mechanical keyboard ASMR? ASMR? Interesting. Interesting. The thing, people's voices is generally what trigger me, so I like, the weirdest though is when you're on the phone with like tech support or something. And because for me it's an ASMR trigger is a voice. When it starts triggering and I'm on tech support, I'm like, oh no. Almost looks like a dog person, not a bunny person. I was sitting in this chair all day. That's better. Just needed to be smoothed out a little bit, I think. Alright, I think we have a backup of these. Maybe not, though. Oh man, enjoy your dinner. I'm getting kind of hungry myself, but oh well, I've eaten today, so I'm good. All right, what do you guys think? We got a bunny person and we got a rabbit person. Or we got a rabbit person and we got a moose man. And as concepts go, I'm pretty happy with them. Well, thanks, guys. Okay, cool. So now I've kind of like figured out what I think we've got a new character. Your money's on the big guy? Yeah. Actually, they're going to be a part of the same team. They'll have the Moose Man, a bunny, and we haven't figured out the third person yet, I don't think, but... Well, we'll figure it out. We were talking about a mushroom, like a red cap mushroom today. I don't know if that'll make it into the final cut, but it would be funny if it was. All right. Well, this is what we've got. It has been, what, 2 hours, 15 minutes or so. Guys, I've been in this office since 8 a.m., so basically 12 hours I've been in the office today. So I'm going to get on out of here. But it was good hanging out with you guys. No, I'm not going to... It's not going to be a dog. It's not going to be a dog. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably a rabbit, a moose, and something else in the forest. Not quite sure what we'll go with, though. Still trying to figure that out. But we're still working on the first team, to be honest. This will be probably a second story in the same universe that we'll tell maybe in 2 years' time. I just wanted to sculpt it out today and have some fun with anatomy practice and stuff. So, anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm glad we can do this on Tuesdays. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. But until then, have a good one.